Coley and welcome to my regular weekly podcast. Today I'm going to be talking all about referrals and how you can use referrals to grow your business and also to help others grow as well. Referrals is a great way of somebody else selling for you. It's really commonplace in the world of networking. So lots of people do business networking, and it doesn't matter if you're in B2B or B2C. You're looking to help each other by doing referrals. And a real great way of looking at that is through the many years. I mean, there are lots of different networking organizations now, but probably one of the original networking ones called BNI is known around the world, and they have a very probably simple structure, but it's actually very rigid. And within their structure, though, what they're looking to do is to make sure that they have single seats. You have a smallish group, 20 to 30 people, all different types of business, and you're looking to create referrals for each other. And I do remember my days of BNI when one of the phrases they use a lot is givers gain. So the more you give, then actually it puts an onus on somebody to do the same for you. Now, I don't do BNI today, but there are lots of people who do successful BNI and they find that works for them because they get great referrals. I've always built my business, probably 40% of my business is built on referrals. And those referrals can come from customers, but a lot of the time they will come from my network because I'm always looking to help others. Now that might be through networking groups I do, it might be through my own customers and I'm helping to refer other people to them to help them grow their business. There's lots of ways that you can do referrals, but the key about referrals is there's an element of trust by you giving a referral. So if I introduce somebody to somebody who I knew really well, who said, "Oh Phil, I'm looking for such and such," and I introduce them, there is a level of trust already there. The assumption that I wouldn't introduce them to somebody that I wouldn't work with, who actually wasn't any good. And that's where referrals can work really well. You actually start to break down some of those barriers. I've picked up some amazing clients because other clients or people in my network have referred me. And by that definition of the referral, there is an element of trust. And also there is that recommendation there that somebody's actually go, "I'm going to recommend you," let alone referral. And so when we look at that, how can you utilize referrals for your business? I do suggest that you go networking, and I suggest you either look for a face-to-face group or you look for an online group, and there are lots of great online groups there. And actually, if you go into my profile, you'll see where I do network online, and you can come and look at any of those. I do now network around the world. Many of my clients are based around the world now, so for me, I do a lot of online networking with groups around the world, and that's amazing and I love it. But you can do it from a really low cost point. You can start to go into networks. Also look for referrals from your customers. If your customers are really strong and you do a great thing for them and they're really happy with what you're doing, you might just mention to them, "Do you know anyone else in your network that might like the services that I provide?" And you'd be amazed how many people would say, "Oh yeah, I could introduce you to a couple of people." That would be amazing. So you can start to look at referrals from that perspective. The key thing with the referral, the two things I've always found that you must do: thank the person who gave you the referral. That's massively important. So you really must thank them for giving you that referral, but also just let them know how it's going with the person you got referred to. So if it was nothing you could do, say, made contact with them, we had a great conversation, it's probably just not right at the moment, we're probably not the right fit. At least they know. If it's going really well, say, "It's going really well, I'll let them tell you all about it, but thank you so much for that referral, but it's really going great." And then that person's like, "Well, I'm really pleased I did put you in." Because the thing with referrals can be a little bit like recommending a pub, a restaurant, somewhere to go and eat. You can recommend it, and actually the night they go, it's a disaster. The service is rubbish, the food is rubbish, and it's just one of those things. So, you need to think about that. And that's where referrals can be really strong, but do make sure you refer with real confidence. And with confidence, you need to just make sure, is it the right referral? So for me, I'm always looking to see where I can connect people, try and connect people together to make it work for them. And that's where some of these connections come in. I'm always looking to connect because I always get it come back to me. I just know that, and I've done it for many years. Probably went to my first networking meeting in the early 90s. And from that point, I've always networked, and it doesn't matter where you go. And the key for me is I've got a great big network, and I will always try to introduce people there because it always pays back in the end. So I'm not doing it to put any onus on somebody to say, find me somebody because I've referred you. I just know somebody else somewhere will. So it is that thing that I said about BNI earlier on, givers do gain. So when you think about referring though, it's always make sure you do a proper email introduction, follow it up, just make sure it's done and make sure it is timely. Particularly if somebody who is a client of yours or a friend of yours has introduced you, get onto that really, really quickly. So you do need to act quickly from both parties to have confidence. Because remember, that person, if you give them a referral, or they've given you a referral, is they want to see the activity, they want to see it positively, a positive outcome. So think about again how you do a referral, what you do when you receive a referral. Think about all these different things. Make sure it's done in a timely fashion is what I'm really trying to say here. By doing that, follow up, keep everybody involved, make sure it does right. Start to think about your own network. Start to think who you can refer to somebody else. By starting this dialogue, referring somebody, it makes a difference. It astounds me today how many people still don't refer very well, or how many people arrogantly just sit back and go, I'm going to wait for referrals to come to me, and they don't do any referrals themselves. Make sure you are not one of those people, because you will never gain. You will find your referrals dry up really quickly because you don't give anything back. So as much as you can, try to be more of a giver than be a taker. And that is one of my tips that I would always say to anybody about referrals. And that comes from 30 plus years. I really know what I'm talking about on this one. Think about referrals. It's great for your business. It's a really cost-effective way. Think about networking. Think about your customers. Who can refer you and who can you refer to them? Hope you've enjoyed this particular podcast. Remember, you can tune in every single Wednesday and I will be giving you lots of information on a certain topic that has to do with sales and lead generation.